President for Greer Relief. As I mentioned, we want to tell you a bit about Greer Relief and what we do here, but a few other things as well. First is to say thank you. We've done that, we'll keep doing that. We really like thanking the people that support us. And again, all of you neighbors that have supported us here and all of the neighbors that couldn't join us this morning, we feel very lucky to be part of the Greer community. It's a very close-knit, wonderful, supportive community, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without our neighbors and without this community. The second goal is to show you more about Greer Relief, which I will not be doing, but we'll share some facts and figures from people far more versed in the workings of Greer Relief and that have the papers that have those really fancy facts and figures. We're also going to be sharing a personal testimony from the impact Greer Relief can have from one of our neighbors in need who received the services. Honestly, that's one of my favorite parts of these events. And lastly, we're going to make some great announcements to hopefully encourage you to get more involved, continue to be involved, or help us spread the word. But to start this morning, we are going to begin with an invocation, and it is my pleasure to introduce Ken Vickery from Victor Baptist Church.
Would you pray with me? Lord, as we come this morning, we're just so thankful for the food that we've had. We thank you for the culinary students who've prepared it, Lord. We thank you for this opportunity to learn about this great organization. God, we just thank you that you care about the least of these and those in need, and you showed it when you walked among us. And so we just pray you bless our program today and this organization and all that it does to help those in need. And we ask it in Christ's name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Ken. We would also like to start by thanking Engenius and the City of Greer for continuing their support of Greer Relief, and a special thank you to our friends here at J. Harley Bond's Career Center and Culinary program for this incredible breakfast provided by the culinary students. And we also have our message from our host here at J. Harley Bonds. Avery Davis is the assistant director, and we would like to give Avery a moment to share with you a glimpse into this special program here in Greer and what they do. And thank you and your students for sharing your time and talents with us this morning.
I may be loud enough. I have to yell at students anyways, and then I was a former band director for 9 years teaching middle school. So you can imagine how that looked. But we are very thankful for our culinary program that we have here. Give them another round of applause for their deserving. They're a great group of students. We absolutely love them, and we have more than just them here in the program. I'm here to talk. You guys are good to go and do what you need to do. Thank you. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about our programs that we have here at J. Harley Bonds. We have 14 programs. I had to count it up in my head real quick. Auto tech, firefighting, diesel technology, machine tool, aesthetics, cosmetology, welding, culinary arts, computer programming, animation, mechatronics, and we also have a program called Career Exploratory for our 10th grade students so that they can kind of fill out a program and hopefully be able to apply for that program their junior year. We have about 360 students who are here currently. Next year, our projections look to be over 400 students. So we're growing, and it's very exciting for our teachers to have their programs completely full. We started a diesel technology program this year, and it is packed out for next year, which is so exciting. You'll have 20 students in that program. And so if anybody here needs diesel stuff, come look to us. We'll be glad to help in any way we possibly can. We currently, last year, we had about 400 industry recognized certifications that our students earned, which is phenomenal because we're here to prepare our students for the future. We want them to be successful and be contributors to society in the best way possible, and that's our whole goal, is to have our students be successful when they leave here. We have different opportunities of partnership. So over here on the table, you'll see if you are interested in partnering with us, we have that information. We have more information about each of our programs. And also, I'm going to put a little plug in. If you ever need to have somebody host with our culinary arts program, we have information on that too. But again, we're very thankful to be able to host with Greer Relief, and we're excited that you are all here, and thank you very much.
Thank you again, Avery, and to the culinary students here for this wonderful breakfast. We appreciate you hosting us. And now I'm really fighting the urge to go like full-fledged NBA announcer for this one. But next up, I would like to introduce our fearless leader, Executive Director Caroline Robertson.
Thank you, Kyle, for your leadership as president of the board, your focus on our mission to help our neighbors, the perseverance to think big and plant your flag. The board presidents have been coming up with hashtags every year, and his hashtag this year is hashtag plant your flag. So, we also have a few dignitaries. I want to take a moment to recognize Councilwoman Judy Albert. So yep, there she is, right there in front of me. Also, I would like to take a moment to recognize our board of directors. If you would please stand, because without our board of directors, we would not be able to fulfill the mission of Greer Relief. And they are the ones out there in the community really making the work that we do happen, and really making sure that we get the support that we need from the community. So thank you very much for putting boots on the ground out in the community. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and pull my team out. And if my team will please, the Greer Relief team will please take a moment to stand. So we're going ahead and getting there's Sheena, Evan, Bill, Vaughn, Nita, Tyler, Laura, and our volunteers. Last year, over 491 volunteers. I'll let that sink in for a second. 491 volunteers worked over 8,900 hours. It's a lot of help that this community gives a little old organization called Greer Relief. And there's just five employees at Greer Relief. So we could not make that kind of impact that we do in Greer without the volunteers that we have working behind and with and in front and around and with us. So thank you very much, because a lot of them are in this room with us today. So Greer Relief, 83 years old. Greer Relief exists to transform neighbors in need to neighbors who thrive by providing services to eliminate poverty and help neighbors overcome barriers for success. In 2018, Greer Relief assisted 3,355 neighbors. Already this year, we've assisted 1,926. And it's May 14th. Our annual report is on the table. I see several of you all have already found it. There's more where that came from if you need it, if you didn't get a copy for yourself. Our programs and statistics are laid out, so I'm not going to hash out what you already have in front of you. If I could get these two tables to stand up for me. One out of every 7 neighbor in our community here in Greer is living in poverty today. Roughly, this number in this room, you can sit down now. It's heartbreaking, and it's not necessary. It's a huge problem, and one that is preventable. For that many people to be standing, it should affect each one of us. Think about this. If we woke up tomorrow morning and there was an epidemic that swept the country and that many people were affected, with a debilitating illness that was incurable, we would do something about it, wouldn't we? We would be talking about it. Everybody would be talking about it. We would be pulling resources, dedicating time. We would be running around making sure that we were taking care of it and taking care of our own. We would be dedicating money, resources, having conversations about the cure. But we're not putting in the resources or the time or the money or the conversations for the cure. But that's why we're here today. We don't have the resources to dedicate. But we can. We can do something about it. It takes everyone coming to the table. Just a little over 10 years ago, our program was merely a Band-Aid. Treating the symptom, not the problem. Today, we're offering accountability and a future. So I'm asking you, is it okay for that many people to be affected by the epidemic of poverty when there's something we can do about it today? I'm asking you to help us join this fight. Greer Relief offers services that equip families in need to lead successful lives with the hope to prevent future generations from relying on the system. We connect them to resources in the community that can help them end the cycle. We haven't lost our true beginnings as a safety net provider. We still provide food and financial assistance to help our neighbors with basic needs. The J. Byrne Smith Center is a multi-agency service hub led by Greer Relief to provide a path for families to get their feet on the ground so they have the time and ability to look up and see a future. Because without that, there's no hope. 3 words: time, talent, treasure. Without them, we would not thrive. We would not be able to serve the community with the quality of care that we do. You're looking right here at an example of what can happen when someone like you steps in and intervenes. We can answer the call to need when families and children are given services and care and a chance to thrive. Without you and your intervention and your compassion, our neighbors would be lost. On behalf of our neighbors we're serving, and as one of those neighbors, thank you so much for everything you've done. Thank you for what you are doing, but most importantly, thank you for what you will be doing, because what you will be doing is saving lives. And I want to introduce you to a neighbor.
My name is Kirsten Jordan, and I live now in Greer, South Carolina, originally from Charleston, South Carolina. Myself, my husband, and my 2 boys, an 8-year-old and a 9-month-old. Originally when we moved, the 9-month-old was not in our family, but we moved from Charleston after my father passed away from a brain tumor to help my mother, who had purchased a house a couple of weeks before my father passed away, and had accepted a job, and she didn't know exactly how she'd be able to do everything on her own, and so we dropped everything and our lives down in Charleston and made Greer our home. And it's been our home for the past almost 2 years. When we got up here, Only about 2 months in, we found out we were expecting our now 9-month-old, who has been an absolute blessing. And a couple of weeks after we found out about that blessing, we found out that my mother was going to need a liver and a kidney transplant. When she was at her sickest and also received the transplant was right before the holidays, right before Thanksgiving. She actually had the transplant around November 11th or 12th. She did not have a great first reaction right after the transplant. She had that done in Atlanta, so I had to leave my little family and go back and forth from Atlanta. My husband couldn't work. He had to stay home with the baby and make sure that the 8-year-old got back and forth to school. And as well, had to pick up for the holidays and come to Atlanta to bring it to her, to keep her spirits high. She slowly started to do better, but with having to go back and forth and me having to stay in Atlanta so much, my husband had to stay out of work, and it created a big financial strain on our family. My husband and I didn't know how we were going to be able to give our boys a good Christmas, especially with it being our littlest Christmas was his first Christmas. And I called around, and United Way led me to a couple of different places, all of which had already, stopped taking applications. And one of the places they sent me to was Greer Relief. And I called it, and I was, told this is, what we do, and, we think we can help. And I, had some hope for a moment, which was great. And then I came in, and at first I was really embarrassed to me needing to seek that help. And then I met Yvonne, and it was like family, and I didn't feel embarrassed anymore. And I left out a year, and car was all packed to go straight to Atlanta to be with my mom in the hospital. And it was just a sense of relief of knowing that my kids were going to have a Christmas and that everything was going to be okay. If I could say anything about Greer Relief to somebody off the streets, it is that if they need help or even just, a resource of where to go next to get help, that Greer Relief is, probably the best place to go in the Greer area. They truly are there for you. They work with you. They understand that, life happens and life is not always, sunshine and roses. But they're there to make sure that you can see that light at the end of the tunnel. From Danny at the front, welcoming me, Yvonne, just automatic connection with my boys, and they're family. And the way that seeing them interact with other clients, not just myself, just the Greer Relief, their employees might be a family for themselves, but they're a family for the community. And I truly feel that. My name is Kirsten Jordan, and I live now in Greer, South Carolina. I'm originally from Charleston, South Carolina.
All right. So, also to tell you, a little bit about our program. Our Christmas program is not one of those programs where you walk in and get Christmas. Our Christmas program is an earned program. You attend classes, budgeting, job services, health and wellness classes, and it's determined by the number of kids you have. So this is not a program where you come in and you fill out a wish list and you come and pick up Christmas. This is a program where you participate. It's sweat equity. And when you come in, you earn it. And you participate. And there's case management involved. So we've had a lot of success with this program. And people who are in it for the right reasons. And Kirsten's story truly was one that between her father, brain tumor, and the relocation of having to come up from Charleston, drop everything, 2 full-time jobs, drop everything, come up here, and relocate to Greer, finding out she was pregnant, and then to find out that her mother was going to have the surgeries, multiple, that she was going to have. And the struggles that they have continued to have, even still today, because that situation has still not solidified. So they are still going through a lot of struggles today with that family. She was going to be with us today. Their youngest woke up with a temperature, so she is not going to be with us today. So unfortunately, Kirsten is not going to be. With that, I'm going to now pass this back over to Kyle. So Kyle, if you will please join me back up here.
I was hoping to be able to do this in person, but that is completely understandable. Never fun to wake up to a little one with any form of temperature or illness. But I do want to thank Kirsten for her courage and for taking the time to sit down and share her story like this. She is a testament for why we, the board, the staff, and the volunteers at Greer Relief do what we do and work to serve this mission. We don't do it for ourselves. We do it to make this kind of impact and to be there for our neighbors like this. And hopefully that drive, that purpose, and that involvement is what helped lead her to reach out, get involved, and have the experience she did. That's one of the things I've always liked about Greer Relief is the feel you get when you're there. And I think that being able to hear stories like this proves out that the way they do things makes everyone feel better about themselves and not just get to a better place. And because of the support we get from this community, it's the way we are able to do things like this, and the reason we're able to have the impact we have and to be able to provide stories like this for our neighbors in need. Whether it is giving a family food when they need it, creating a strategic partnership with them to help provide a plan and get them back on their feet, or providing Christmas for 2 young kids. So that is how we work to hopefully change the future for the better for our neighbors in need. But it is now my distinct honor to ask Greer Relief Board Member John Mansure for a few words.
He said it's an honor. That's a good thing. So right now I'm the only person standing between you and the doorway so you can get back to work this morning. So I'll be an hour or so, and then first of all, thank you all for coming to this today. It really means a lot to me to look out and see all these folks in this room who care about Greer Relief and what Greer Relief does and care about your neighbors in Greer. Thanks again to the Culinary Arts kids. That was a terrific breakfast. If I ate that every morning, I would be in real trouble. What Greer Relief does is I think is really unique. You heard from Kirsten. She said it. Life happens. I have a different phrase that I use, which is not appropriate for this room, but life, unfortunately, life does happen. There are folks that are, man, they're pushing every day. They're to keep the cart on the road and out of the ditch. One thing happens and they're off the edge. We heard last year from one of the recipients who, she had a great job. I think she worked for Adidas. She had an eye operation that didn't go well, and then she had to have another eye operation. She wound up being blind, couldn't work. What do you do? What do you do when you don't have savings and you can't find a job because you can't even see? These are the people that Greer Relief helps. And a lot of times it's only temporary until they get that their car back on the track again. But they're there, and it makes all the difference in the world for these neighbors of ours when they need it. So you probably knew this was coming. There is a reason why we asked you here and fed you this morning. So on your tables are the program, okay? If you turn the program over, it has a little pledge section in the bottom, and there is a manila envelope on the table. If you are so inclined today to leave a pledge to help fund the good works that Greer Relief does, we would be grateful, very grateful for that. If you want to take it home and put a bigger number on there, that would be even better. But you know, we exist through the generosity of our neighbors. Just as we serve the neighbors in our community, we exist because of the generosity of those neighbors too. So again, thank you for taking time out of your day to come here this morning, and we are done. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's right. If I ate that right there morning.
How do you? Another good call. Pleasure meeting you today. And you too. One of us.
Nice to meet all of you as well.
A lot of places. Go Tigers, right? Had someone who's usually
Yeah, we just got all of our tickets. I think we're set now.
I said, yeah, we didn't do it. We didn't do ours this year.
My husband says every year, I'm not doing it next year. If next year rolls around, and there we are.
We had a really good party. It was pretty quick. And one of the guys
They all are.
this was really good. One of the guys that was with us decided he wasn't going to do it. And then now instead of splitting it by 3, it was 2. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Because I had a tip with my internet. I had a partner. So we just didn't do it.
When you consider your parking for
Listen, we love it.